keep doing these videos, I get better at making the videos, setting up the videos, make them more viewable. I study what I've been doing and putting together with the experience of me watching other videos. There's my staff. I don't know if you see the top completely. I am 6 feet tall. Staff. It's like 7 feet. I'm not sure. My seafood explaining to me. I can't remember why. Like that's how it is in my style. These are the staffs. Stick, staff. And other styles, it could be shorter or just the same height. I'll be reviewing staff fundamental training, solo drills, and matching practice techniques from Tai Chi and Shaolin Kung Fu by Dr. Yingwing Ming. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. In order for you to understand my review, I have to give you just a little background. I'm not going to talk too much. The style I practice was created by the founder. It's a 4th generation escort bodyguard, old school China. You know old school China? People jumping out of bushes and trees because it's easier just to rob you. So this is a family who are professionals at escorting, kind of like the guys in the Brinks trucks, right? They're escorting money. So these guys escort important stuff, and they also serve as bodyguards. And they have their own style that they practice. So if you know about old school China traditions, I mean, I don't know much. There's plenty more than I know. Let's say this. The little I know is, even a lot is a little, like in Kung Fu. Like you might know a lot, but it's still a little. Right? Drop in the ocean. It's tough. It's tough. Like it's tough training. So you imagine being a little kid, and then like this is my profession. I'm teaching my kid how to do this and how to do that, and this is my experience, and this is how to fight. And I've had experience fighting, so I'm going to teach you what stuff works, what doesn't. So it's growing up with combat mentality, combat application, and the founder, Sijo, is 4th generation of that, like that. And he goes to Shaolin for like 10 years. So in my mind, he has a combat mentality, a combat view of the professionalism. So I'm thinking to myself, right? Like this is my thoughts, my opinion, that gaining these training from Shaolin, there's a combat mentality, outlook and view of what's being learned, all the practices, all the applications. You know, like I know there's gonna be massive amounts of study of like, okay, this works, this doesn't. He comes from a family who already knows more or less like what works and what not. It's not like just a regular person off the street goes to Shaolin and starts learning the stuff, and they learn like it's different than just somebody who it's not of the life goes to Shaolin and learns the stuff, and somebody is of the life going to Shaolin and learning. Like there's a combat mentality to it, like outlook and view and study. So you see studying Shaolin, and he also has his background, and you know he put it all together, and you know then he Then he leaves Shaolin and puts it together, puts his style together. So to me, it's a combat style because specifically, he's also known that in his later years he concentrated more on teaching combat aspects of the style. So he mixed in like his family style and the Shaolin style. Out of respect, I'm not gonna mention what the style is. I don't have to. I don't feel like it. It's my opinion. You might be curious. It's something about respect. Like I don't need to mention what the style is. I'm just giving the background of what it is. So, I've been practicing martial arts is like a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle. Like you live it, you have to live it. Like it's part of who you are. Like it becomes part of your DNA. Like it's not. You can't BS it. You can't BS it. Basically, my experience is I've been on the same two levels. Right? There's just different levels. The first two levels, like I've almost done with the second level for like 20 years. You know, I went to school, hardcore for like a year, was in it, and then I ended up moving. There's no school nearby, and I just don't go as often, travel as often, go to school, and even now with the internet, I don't go online and do like online classes and stuff like that. But over the course of like that I left, that little bit that I learned, I kept practicing it. Like that was like my only exercise for like years, you know. And it's like some people go to the gym, some people go do this. Sometimes I go running or whatever, but it wasn't like a gym. I go to the gym. It's like sometimes I lived in a room and then I would just practice everything in the room, you know, and just go through everything that I've learned, and I've kept up with it. Sometimes, like, there's been times I don't practice for so long, so I might forget, and then, not forget, but then kind of like the body remembers and catches on. Other times, like, I almost forgot an entire exercise. That how choice. It was weird because I went to school, the school once. I used to go like every 3 years, every 4 years. One time there was like 7 years I didn't go to school. And my seafood was like, hey, show me, you know, exercise number this. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, the one that goes like that. And I was like, oh, that's right. This is exercise in it. Also, the first form, every time like I come to school and show it up and they're like, hey, show me first form. I show it to them. And they're like, okay, look, you gotta block like this, you gotta block like that. This block right here, you know, you're blocking down low. There's a block below the knee, right? Like you're blocking down low, but you gotta block hard. It's not like because you're blocking a kick, you're blocking a weapon, you're blocking something coming towards you. You're catching it, right? That was one of those. Other times it's like side to side and just specific things like, you know, you gotta move these hands first before you move your body. Like very little, like it gets corrected until the point where it's like I got it, like in my mind I got it like perfected. You know, like I can go step by step and know how my feet are supposed to be and how my hands are supposed to move and all that. And like, so my seafood he doesn't correct me anymore. He corrected me last time because there was a move which was supposed to be like this, but I ended up going like that. I'm not gonna show you what it is, but my seafood knows. He understands. I wrote him like a 16-page letter, just letting him just know for sure, understanding. Where my mentality is with the style, with this knowledge that he gave me that I practice. So he understands me as a student. Like I'm not one of his students to go every day or 3 times a week for years. I'm a student that goes like once a year, once every 3 years. I try to go frequently now. So I say all that to say this. I finally made it to the staff. Finally, you know, my first form's on point. My Sifu kept adding. Everything was complete. Every time I went to the school, he seen that everything was complete. Even though he had to fix a little bit here and there, just a little bit, everything's complete without like the knowledge and the learning and my practice and my muscle memory. We kept adding on to it. And finally my first form was complete. He would show me the first video. Oh, it's on point. It's on point. Side note, the first weapon I learned was the fan. It was during the seminar. Anyways, so I finally finished first form, and the next one is the staff. Right hand stick, the staff. I got staff, and then I had got a book that his uncle, which is the main person responsible for spreading Sijo style, wrote like in the 80s about the staff. So I kind of like, I used to do a broomstick. I had like a broomstick, right? And I used to kind of like, okay, it might be like that, and kind of understand a little bit, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I understand the moves, and then when I see these hand movements in the pictures, and then it changes over here, I have to think about it, and there's a flow to the style, and through experience you get to know like, okay, the hand positioning is like he's doing a switch right here, and this is what's happening in between the picture, right? So it was kind of like that. Like I sort of just went through it like very softly, like quote unquote non-religiously, like not like I'm practicing it like when I learn the form that you like you're recording it, like you're making sure that you learn it. You know, like when the Sifu has you practice, like he'll teach you a move or two, and then he'll have you practice that for like a week or 2 weeks. Then he'll teach you like another move or two. You practice that for like a week, 2 weeks. You know, patience, right? Until everything's complete. So I wasn't practicing with the broomstick like that. Finally I got the staff. And you know, I had a private session with him, and he already knows like I won't go for a while. So it's like he teaches me like a lot, right? But if you put it together, like if I was going to the school like every day or 3 times a week, and it would take me like 6 months to learn a certain sequence, he knows I'm not coming back for like another 6-8 months, maybe a year. So and by the way I do my first form, and he could tell me to do any of the exercises and any of the small forms or the other forms, he knows that I have it intact, like a student that kind of goes frequently to his school. So I guess he sees I practice on my own. So he has no problem teaching me a certain amount of sequence, because he knows I approach the sequence like if he was teaching it to me when I was at the school. You know, I practice this for a while, you got that. And then the next move, practice that, you ingrain it into who you are, into your muscle memory, you make it part of like me, like this is me, right? So with all that said, with that background, there's 2 sections of the staff form of this specifically staff form. There's more advanced other forms in this style, and of course there's other forms in the other styles. But in this specific form that he taught me, he didn't teach me all of it though. I have to go back and finish it. There's 2 parts where you slide the stick, and that stood out to me because as I'm watching these other videos on YouTube, these Shaolin videos, Shida Yang, Grandmaster Shida Yang, and all the other guys, all the other, respect to all the masters who's got like staff videos on YouTube. Excuse me. And watching the videos, I don't see staff sliding in the form. Like they're sliding where they're like you're like that, and sometimes you gotta make a move, so you're sliding in like to a point. But a purposeful slide, how it is in this form, right? Block, slide, step and attack, block, slide, attack. The slide stood out to me. The slide stood out to me. The slide stood out to me so much that I'm thinking to myself, Cjo, the combat specialist, combat professional from family plus Shaolin plus the experience he had after he left Shaolin. And he's a famous fighter, thousands of students, famous fighter. There's gotta be a reason why he's got those slides in the form. There's gotta be a reason. There's gotta be a reason. If I'm a combat specialist, with my mentality, if I'm a combat specialist, learning, putting something together, there's a purpose why I do what I do. Especially if you're studying how Shaolin put their moves together, right? Like, oh, how does it make sense? What's the best degree? Like, you know, according to my experience, like a slight variation of the Shaolin move is the exact perfect one that you need for in the moment to do the actual application and have it be work exactly how it needs to work. There's got to be a reason why he got the slide. So because I understand that Cjo is a combat specialist, he's a combat professional, his combat mentality. Why the slides in there? Why is the slides? You know, and especially like the slide if I'm in a fight, like for my life with my stick, the slide can be a sloppy, slow slide. Like it has to be a fast slide. Pop. I'm gonna move, slide, pop. Move, slide, pop. It's to be quick. There's gotta be a reason why he do it. Anyways, it caught the attention to me so much where I understand everybody starts to learn the staff and automatically they want to go spin or they learn these spins, right? Yeah, I saw some on YouTube when I had the broomstick and I was like, okay, I just try to understand kind of like what she's doing, you know, like that or like that or like that, you know, the paddles, the fisherman paddle and all the other ones, the figure eights, like. I kind of got familiar with what the spin was. I wasn't out there like, oh, let me practice this and this and that because I had a broomstick. I didn't have a broomstick. It's not as tall as me. I didn't have my staff. You know, like if I'm gonna practice this, ingrain it into my DNA, make it who I am. Like I have to practice it with my staff, so I can't. I have to be careful with how I record the information within myself, within my brain, within my body. So I was more interested in the staff and like, oh, I'm gonna get the staff first before I actually do any of this because I need to understand the staff is so tall. You know, it's gonna hit the floor. It's gonna hit the. I need to know what it covers. You know. So I was more interested in the sliding than the spinning. Once I learned the form and I got my staff, the slide called out to me and I was like, I was interested in that. And so, you know, I look on YouTube like staff sliding and most of what you see is like staff spinning. Learn spinning behind your head, one hand spinning, all these different spinnings, but there's not much on staff sliding, right? But then I saw a trailer for this one DVD and I was watching the guy, you know, because side note, even though I'm not advanced in my style, I've been doing first form so much. I've been doing my basic horse stances, my basic 8 punches, and my basic leg kicks for so long that I can watch somebody do a form or perform a form and I'm looking at the horse stance, I'm looking at the stances, I'm seeing how they move, I'm seeing the fluidity, like whether it's sloppy, like I could tell if they've been practicing a lot, if they don't practice, how dedicated they are, like I could tell, even though I'm not as advanced in my style, I practice enough where I could tell kind of like what works and what not. I think I forgot to mention that while I was away from school, I went on YouTube and picked up 7 kung fu forms. Um, 6 are from Shaolin. One is from a specific teacher in Taiwan that when you see him explaining and doing it, you can see the combat aspect of it. Like I don't know his story. I don't know how he fought, but he's got this combat thing to it. Like and then learning the Shaolin forms of this other forms, it brought more life to the style to the style I practice, to the forms of the style I practice. You know, now it just brought more life. I can't explain it. You know, a simple stab. I mean, I'm not gonna do it, but just like a simple stab, spear. You know, stuff. Anyways, so I saw a trailer for this DVD, right? And in watching him, like how they cut the trailer together, it's, you know, it's like a 2 little minute video or like a minute video or something like that. And the way what they showed, I was like, wow, you know, he's got that. And then they show that, and then I see more. Like it's all about stash sliding. It's all about stash sliding. Right, so there's no videos on YouTube about stash sliding, but there's a trailer on there about this DVD of stash sliding. And I could tell immediately, like, it wasn't just like 1, 2, 3, like three little exercises or whatever. Like, it looked like it went deep. Like the different stuff they showed, it's like whoa, they deep, and it's real serious, and I saw a lot that has to do with stash sliding. By the time I saw the preview to the trailer, I had already begun to study the slide in the form and try to connect as to why the slide is there, and understand that the slide has to happen super quick. So this is a specific way that you do the move, and then when you slide, right? So if I do the move, I can't add anything extra that my Sifu hasn't taught me just to get the slide. You know, it has to be the move where I'm at and slide from there. So how can I go from this move to the slide to the next move? So it's the transition between this move and the slide, and then the transition between after the slide and the next move. Right, but the main transition part is that first one from one move to the slide. So as soon as you do the move, you go into the slide. So how do you maneuver to get that slide as fast as possible? So I started studying that. I started practicing, and I got like a rough version of it, and I understood it was all in the wrist, and it's all like in this wrist movement involving your fingers too, but it's not like an exaggerated movement. It's like a quiet, subtle movement that you can't tell is happening, and where it's happening, it's kind of always happening with the backhand behind the body, away from the opponent. So the opponent is not seeing the subtle movement that's happening. Oh my god, that's just discovering these things, you know, like Cjo put it together, like, okay, you know, like, oh man, it's beautiful, man, it's beautiful. So I had already started learning that, studying that. Excuse me. So what made sense to me with the in watching the images in the trailer for the DVD is all these exercises with slides. It's going to strengthen my sliding in that specific form, in the form of my style, in that specific form of my style that I'm learning and studying. So there's a there's a great respect that goes with, like, okay, I should only stick to my style and I shouldn't go outside my style. But it's, how can I explain it to you? I'm not going off to like another school that's teaching like another style completely, you know, enjoying that, you know, like it's my school, like there's a respect towards your school. Like there was a time where I only felt motivated to do my martial arts when I went to school. So I feel like I needed to go to school to learn, to actually be motivated. So one time I even asked my Sifu, I was like, can I have your permission to attend another school? Just in case I don't feel motivated to practice that, you know? And then his reaction in his face, he was like yes. Like he understood what I was asking, what I was asking him, you know? Like he knows like he's always gonna be my Sifu, that's always gonna be my school, like it's always gonna be my style type thing. And the respect of like, yeah, I'm not gonna go and open a school because you haven't taught me, you haven't said I could open a school, but if I ever do have kids, I will be passing down this to my kids. So it's sort of like my family style, right? Like in my head is my family style. But he also said, he gave me permission, he said yes, but he said it's also up to the other teacher, like he needs to know as well whether he says yes or no. Even though I asked him that, he said yeah, like I never really like attended school. It was more like somewhere I caught my motivation and I go do exercise by myself at the park and stuff like that. So I don't feel like I'm going outside, completely outside. Like this is a gentleman who has put a training regimen, a specific training regimen that he decides to share with the world, spreading the culture of martial arts, of kung fu, of what it is, and more. But it's a very specific, it's like a targeted area. It's a very specific targeted area. It's filling a space. It's filling a gap that's missing because all there is mostly spinning exercises and spinning videos. So he's filling in the gap with the slides, and that's what matters to me. That's what called out to me on the video with the slide. All it is to me just makes sense that it's gonna strengthen my sliding. You know what I'm saying? So then when I do my form and I do the slide, it's like me and the stick are one, right? Like the weapon is an extension of your body, right? Like the stick is so long, but it's like if I'm with my arm reaching so long, but it's with a stick. So the exercises from the DVD, as I saw in the trailer, the exercises do multiple purposes. They're multi-purpose moves where they will strengthen the sliding part of my form. Like it'll strengthen the reason why Cjo put it together, put the sliding in the form. It'll strengthen that right there. Uh, it's multi-purpose because also as I do the exercises, I'm getting the tactile sense. You know, I'm getting to know my stick even more. There's exercises where it's like you're sliding and stuff, but you're not looking at your stick, right? So it's like you get to know the length, like how much do I pull, how much I missed this, so I got to catch a little earlier, or maybe I didn't do it enough, so I need to push a little more. So you just like you know where your stick is at all the time, kind of like somebody who's dribbling basketball. You know, they don't need to look at the ball; they just could go down court dribbling, and they know where the ball's at all the time. Same thing with the stick. So it's all it is gonna do is just gonna strengthen my form overall in my study of the form. So I ordered the DVD from Amazon, and you know I received it, and I was excited, you know, and I played it. I played the DVD, and let me tell you, it was a lot more than I thought of. A lot more it was gonna be. Like I thought, like I already knew it was gonna be a lot, and this ended up being a lot more than that, a lot. And the way it's structured is great. It feels just like when you're learning the form, when you first begin to learn the forms and the style, everything builds on top of everything else. Like you learn this, and then this next thing you learn, it builds on top of that, and then this next thing that you learn builds on top of that, and then this thing that you learn builds on top of that. Like everything has a purpose, and they build, and it builds, right? So how I did it was I was just watching it. I wasn't like watching and practicing it. There were times like in the more advanced section where I was like I couldn't understand. I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, what? And then you know I got my staff and I was like, wait, what's the movement? Like they going like this, and then they cross it slides here, and then you know it's like to understand, and it's the complexity. You know, it starts from very simple and then it gets complex. But yeah, there's like 4 different sections. There's 4 different sections. Each section is huge. It's big. Excuse me. So I ran through the first, second, and third because they're all like individual exercises. Once you get to the 4th section, it's like you're taking what you learned and then putting it into practice with like an opponent that has another staff. So it's non-solo. It's like a 2-man team kind of thing where it's like you know they come at you in a way, and then you have to, and then you react. You know, and he goes, and I've learned stuff, man, that he's talking about that maybe my Sifu won't cover for his own personal reasons. You know, like maybe just to see how dedicated you are, and you go off and you learn and you practice and you find out, so then you can tell, and then you go deeper. Like he may have his reasons why he doesn't explain extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But for example, like bouncing, like if somebody's coming at me with another staff and I block it, like when it makes contact, yeah, I can make contact, but when you make contact, the staff naturally goes like this. So then when it goes like that, I use that force, that momentum, that power that it's bringing, and add to it, to it goes like that, and then you have the power to go like that. And then he's talking about like, yeah, you block pop, pop, pop. And then there's other ones where he's talking about the sliding and stuff. So I did go into like the fourth one a little bit to kind of like see what he was talking about. But I didn't go deep into the fourth one because back then it was like so much knowledge, right? Like so much. I already had seen so much, and it was just so much variations and so much exercises. It was like, I was like, okay, I'll get there when I get there. You know, it's like I had enough. I had enough. Like I was just watching this. So and the way I approach it, the way I would approach the training, because I haven't really like started the training. I started practicing the first exercise is the sliding. Just that. I've been practicing that because that's how my teacher taught me the style. Right? Teach you a little bit, you got to practice that for a while, get to know it. Then after that, he'll teach you the next one, and you practice that for a while. So on my own, I have my own self-discipline to understand, like, I need to learn this first. So I'm there first. But yeah, this is it's deep. It's deep. There's other stuff he talks about: sealing, neutralizing, repelling, advanced retreating. It's all here: coiling and stinging, point striking, chopping. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, the first one says sliding, right? But everything else after that: striking, stinging, coil stinging, blocking, pouncing, point striking, chopping, and everything else has the slide in it. Has the slide in it. Like, I'm like this, and I'm changing directions, but then I slide, right? Like you're swinging it. Wait, how's it go? Something like you swing it, and then you slide, and then you finish it off. Right, and then he's got different ones where it's like, okay, it's straight and diagonal and from the side. So what I was looking for that has to do with the sliding, the specific part with the sliding, it's all here. And every other exercises that they do, just reinforces the sliding. In addition to that, I noticed when I was practicing some of the advanced stuff that that you make a move, slide, and then make a little move, like everything is like seamlessly. Some of those moves are like the spinning ones. Like once you practice these different exercises that he's got that deals with the sliding, I think once I would go into like learning the spinning, it'll be a lot easier because there's like specific hand movements and specific positioning that you do that matches up with some of the practice I had in spinning the broomstick, right? Like it just made sense. Like, oh, okay, I remember this from the broomstick. Like this little part, it's not like the whole part, but it's just like there's a small transition in the entire exercises that excuse me. There's a whole transition in the exercise that is very similar to the one I experienced when I was doing the broomstick. Another thing I like about the video, about the DVD, is he's got 3 different level students. I mean, just to categorize it, right? You have beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and you could tell because the beginner one is like he's learning the specific moves, like in everything, the sliding or in the one that it was like you keep it close to your stomach and you go like this and you're doing something. In all the ones it was like, yeah, you got the beginner, and you could tell like trying to apply very specific what he was taught, right? So it's like kind of like when you're learning a new language and you have to still think about the translation in your head and then speak it, right? It's sort of like you're just practicing these things that they taught you, and you're just practicing that, and you're just practicing that. So then you got the intermediate guy. Then you could tell like he's a little bit more fluid, you know. So then like you could tell like yeah, it's the same moves, and it's a little bit more fluid, right? So then you could also tell um, subtleties of like practicing it for so long, and then you got the more advanced guy, the advanced guy, and he's just like fluid with it. You know, he's doing the same moves that the beginner and intermediate are doing, but he's more fluid with it. He's been practicing them, so it doesn't look as choppy, and it's the same move. It's the same move, but it's just everything's coordinated, right? Like the beginner guy, like the intermediate. Oh, hold up, the intermediate guy is working on the power, right? Like he'll do a move, like he'll do the moves, and then in the power delivery, he'll deliver the power. Right? I remember that. I remember when I was learning in my style, when I was like learning forms or learning certain moves or whatever. Like I'm concentrating on that power delivery. My certain choy or just any other move. Like I'm concentrating on the power delivery. So the beginner guy, he's yeah, he'll have to move and yeah, he'll get the power and stuff like that. But you know, he's like just learning it, and then the intermediate guy, like you can tell at times, like he's about that power delivery, bam, 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 and then you get the advanced guy, and he's just fluid. He's fluid, like he's not. I'm not saying the intermediate guy is choppy. I'm just saying like he's not as like in the parts where the intermediate guy sort of might do a move, and then he's transitioning into this other move, and then like his transitions right from move to move are like if the beginner guy is a square, right? Got the square corners. The intermediate guy might be like the hexagonals, with you know it's you still got the little corners, but it's more. There's more facets to it, so it looks a little bit more rounded, and then the advanced guy will be a circle, right? So then it's the way he moves, where it's like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you might understand when I say with the advanced guy. So the advanced guy, he's doing the fluids, he's doing the moves more fluid, doing the moves like more fluid, and he's still delivering that power. But it's the way he delivers the power where it's like it's one continuous flow, right? Yeah. So the intermediate guy will be like, like there's a flow, but it's like, you know, the beginner guy's like, the intermediate guy's like, and then the advanced guy's just like, so there's like an easier delivery of power that the advanced guy is doing. But that delivery of power deals with like the transition of the force through the movement. Like you're doing a movement, and you're redirecting force. Like you're like energy. Like there's an energy to the way you swing back, and this is swinging forward, and then it's the way you could there's different ways to transition into like, you know, bringing this back and bringing this forward. You know, so it's like. You know, you bring it here and you be like, or you could like just be fluid. So it's the way you redirect that power or that force, that power, like it's a redirection to the delivery. So and so yeah, so I like that he's got that in this video, you know, because I'm able to study like the beginner guy and be like, okay, this is what in my mind he's teaching the Dr. Yang, you know what I mean? Dr. Yang is teaching the guy, so I kind of understand like how the beginner guy's putting it together. Excuse me. And then I get to see how the intermediate guy's been practicing it for a while and what he's concentrated on, and then the advanced guy is just like just flowing through it. So I get to see um, like little details that sometimes don't get explained. Like Dr. Yang is not gonna sit there and explain to you. Like there's one where it's like you got the staff like right here, but then when you move, you're moving your midsection. So it's your staff and your midsection are like one, and it's like this. Dr. Yang doesn't go and explain it to you like, yeah, you gotta put your staff here and you gotta flow it like that. Like no, you just like you watch and you can tell, right? You got the beginner guy there and he's like trying to do this, and then the intermediate guy he's trying to do that, and then the advanced guy he's just doing it. Like it doesn't look like he's trying that much, but he's doing the same thing, but he's just like doing. Yeah. And I just like the way Dr. Yang set up the DVD. Um, he'll have the move, boom. He'll say what the move was supposed to be, and then he'll have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You do like just standing still drills, and then you do the drill moving around. Right? It's a lot. There's a lot on here. There's a lot on here. Like you and your staff will be one. Like you do these exercises, and even if you're not attempting to be like a full professional or like combat killer, like even if you're not trying to reach the peak of kung fu, right? Like even if you're not trying to do that, there's a way of you just practicing the exercises, and after you practice the exercises well, right? Like you're not gonna BS them and just kind of run through them without respect. Like you gotta have respect for the knowledge. Like I said, one builds on top of the other, so you gotta make sure this one is down good. Like you might feel like you got it good, but you gotta make sure like it's a form of respect. You're not just gonna run through a whole info and be like, yeah, I'm a badass and shit. Like nah, like there's a purpose to why these drills exist, especially since China is like one of the oldest, I think the oldest living cultures in our world. Like thousands of years, they're still together. While other cultures have risen and fallen, China continues to be China. So they've had a chance to develop warfare, especially with warfare. So even with small practice, even if you just kind of like want to run through them, the exercises will make sure you develop a tactile sense of your staff. You develop a relationship with your staff. Kind of like when it's exactly like when the little babies, and the babies, like I'm being serious now, like literally babies, and you see them try to reach out and grab a cup, but sometimes they'll reach like shorter, or they'll reach longer. It's because they're still developing that sense of like target, that sense of like where it's at, that sense of like the arm. This is how I use my arm for this purpose. How I use this tool for this purpose. Like learning how to walk and stuff like. But exactly how you know what I'm saying. Like the little baby is getting to developing that comfortable. We're now like we're older now. We don't have to think about it. We just go and grab that cup. Same thing with the staff. You're gonna develop that thing with the staff where it's like you know where it's gonna go. You know where it's gonna be. You know how it is in relationship with your body. Like you know how much it's gonna reach. You know if it's gonna hit your foot. You know if like it's over here. Like even if you're not looking at it, you know where it's at. just like you know where your arm is at, or your hand is at all the time. Like you're gonna know where your staff is at all the time. I'm not saying you're gonna be like 100% like a badass with it, right? Knowing where your staff is at, but I'm just saying like even if you just want to run through it, you're gonna get some sense of relationship with your staff that you're just gonna be a lot better than if you just didn't practice the exercises. In addition, like this is not just sliding. This is not sliding. Like he goes a lot more of in depth into the staff and staff applications, and it's complex because he'll have like areas that are exercises, you know, high, low, down, you know, with the floor. He covers a lot. So this is a very, very in-depth. The knowledge that you get here is worth a lot more than what the price is for this DVD. I think this DVD was like $30. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I think it was like 30 something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's around there somewhere, more or less. But even for that price, around that price range, what you're getting here, you're getting quality. You're getting more than what you pay for. You're getting like top shelf quality. You're getting the cream of the crop. Like you're getting like, if you just want to do drills and do exercises, this right here, you're bro. This is worth, bro. Those $30 are it's nothing compared to what you're gaining here. Like what I'm gaining here, you know. And all I'm trying to do is understand why my CJO put the slide in the form in a combat application. That's really all I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do is strengthen my slide in my form so I could be more combat ready. So I could like, whatever purpose my CJO put that sliding in there, I want to make sure I got that purpose down when I need to use it. That's the only reason why I got that, is to strengthen my slide. And I'm getting a lot more than that. Like my slide is strengthened. My slide is way strengthened. Way strengthened after that. After this. I think like I said in the beginning of the video, like I'm getting better at making videos. So I'm gonna be analyzing this video. Maybe I talk too much, maybe there's a better way for me to condense the information. Maybe I should be, you know, writing down what the specific talking points and things I should be hitting. Because right now I'm just kind of like, you know, just winging it. Not winging it, but you know, kind of like there's a structure to it. And in my mind there's like beats and notes I want to hit. But I'm learning how to make better videos. So as I expect, this is my first review ever of any DVD. Like, I mean, I even forgot to mention that I used to work at Blockbuster. Blockbuster, you know, it's like if Netflix had a store and you go into the store to rent movies. That's what Blockbuster used to be, for those who don't know about Blockbuster. I worked there for like 2 years, and I loved that job. So I watched a lot of movies. I played games too, but I watched a lot of movies. I still watch a lot of movies to this day, and TV shows. But I knew my customers, like they'll come in, I got the movie for you, and then just like I watch them all: horror, chick flicks, comedies, action, drama, thriller, and plus I study storytelling, like in comic books. Like I have to study storytelling because my interests are like drawing stories. And it's all about the storytelling, whether it's in a game, in a video, in a comic book, in a graphic novel. It's all about the storytelling. I got sidetracked. So I'm working on improving the videos. But yeah, this is my first review. I mean, I should have been reviewing movies, right? Since I used to work at Blockbuster and I watched a lot of movies, and I have a good sense of like reviewing the movie. Like I just give my opinions and thoughts, right? But yeah, this is I'm very proud. I'm very happy that this happened to be like a DVD, my first DVD to review. A lot of respect to Dr. Yang. I appreciate the information you gave me. I appreciate everything on here, and I value it. Thank you to you, and thank you to your students. I appreciate it. fundamental trainings. Just one more thing. One more thing. One more thing. I promise this will be quick. There's something about what I learned in my style and practicing it, and when I was learning the forms from YouTube videos, like I wasn't just learning any form. Like my stuff has to do with combat and very specific ways. Like I'm not just gonna like in the Xiao Zhuan, there's a move. These moves here. There's a section where it's like it was like this. You know, there's a couple different variations, but I mean, I'm not gonna learn the one that motivated me to learn. I'm not gonna learn that specific one because I saw that guy go right, and I was like, whoa, that looks good, and then it made me search for it, and then I found the one I wanted to learn. And then once I went back and kind of saw the one that motivated me to learn, which was these quick moves, it's not as combat. I'm not gonna say it's sloppy. It's just not the one I want to learn. Like it's not the one that fits me as like with my mentality, my body structure. Like the one I learned from was like Shida Yang and Grandmaster Shida Yang, and it was like he has like there's a combat. I see the combat in it. He's awesome. So I'm learning to study, right? So when it came to this, even that first exercise is when you slide the stick, right? You learn to study what they're doing, right? Like yeah, they're sliding the stick, right? So you look at their hands. Oh, their hands is this because it's not explained there. He's not explaining it to you like, okay, you grab your stick here and you grab your stick here and then you do this. Nah, like he might give you like a little intro about something, right? But you kind of gotta watch the students like, okay, one hand's like that, one hand's like this. Like you can tell, right? And then they're sliding the stop. And then he'll give tips like, you know, you should hold it like, you should grab it, you know, a certain amount of length from the end and stuff like that. But then you also notice, like, if you keep looking at it, right, like you might not understand the whole thing together. Sometimes you gotta break it down. He has it close to the body, and it's not like down by the stomach or by the hips or up here in the chest. It's like in this area, right? So it's like that in this area. So you're doing it in this area. You're in this area. So you're not like down. You're not down by your waist going like that. You're not up in your chest by your neck going like that. It's in this area. Whatever purpose he has it for, he's somebody who has a lot of videos. I haven't gone through and seen like the whole catalog, but when you go on Amazon, you see like he has many other different videos for a bunch of other different things, like martial arts related, Tai Chi, especially Tai Chi. And I don't know this man, I haven't researched him, but there's something with my experience with my Sifu and that culture of respect that I get to understand, like you got knowledge and you got respect, sir. So it's just about you make sure you study right, and then when you do this or when you do that, like there's when you I noticed too, like they won't explain that when you do the switching, like when you're switching, right? Like it's sort of like when you're going like this with like China type, right? Where you're tapping in the staff, like, right? And then sometimes you study about which hand goes in front first, like, you know, like you got the back hand, and sometimes you when you're spinning it, which hand has to go on top to do a transition up to the other stick, or how it works. You know, it's like you have the whole map, and then you have these individualized parts. Like if I learn last comment right here, when I was learning the I was learning this move, right, that goes from a hand position here. It goes like this, like you're doing these complex moves, right? And I want to learn it on this side. So I'm here and I'm doing this, but then when I'm here, I can't. Like, what is it I'm doing? So I can't learn what this hand is doing, what my footwork is doing at the same time. I have to like, okay, I have to break it down. Okay, what's my right hand doing? It's doing this. So I might put my other hand to the side. Might not do my footwork. I'm just like, okay, what's this hand doing? It's going like that. Okay, so what's it happening? It's going like that. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get that with this hand. Okay, I understand it. Okay, what's my hand doing here? Going like this. Okay, so let me see what this hand is doing. Okay, what's my footwork doing? And then you put it together. You put the whole picture together, and go down, buddy. Anyways, Staff Fundamental Training by Dr. Yang. I highly recommend this DVD. And I think I've explained why I recommend this DVD. I'm not just here telling you, hey, recommend it. I respect Dr. Yang Ying-Ming, PhD, is a world-renowned author, scholar, and teacher of Tai Chi Chuan. He has been involved in Chinese martial arts since 1961 and maintains over 55 schools in 18 countries. Dr. Yang's writing and teaching include the subjects of Kung Fu, Tai Chi Chuan, massage meditation, and Qin Na, and he's a leading authority on Qigong. He's the author of over 35 books and 80 videos. Quote from Inside Kung Fu magazine says, one of the people who have made the greatest impact on martial arts in the past 100 years. On this review of Staff Fundamental Training by Dr. Yang, I highly recommend this DVD.